Hi everyone, this is a bipolar recovery film, and this is me talking about moving from darkness to light, from depression to feeling more normal, and describing that, I suppose, in metaphors a bit, to kind of explain how it feels or how it's felt for me. So if I count from the day that I by accident didn't take any medication and I was already on reduced medication, it kind of swung me into kind of mania or even more intense withdrawal symptoms, which I've got loads of videos about on this playlist. So say that was day one. Day 40 is how long it took for me to go from lots of intense feelings from the withdrawal and maybe a bit of mania all mixed in and being very confusing, and energy kind of all over the place, dispersed, confusing, difficult time, and you're just kind of coping with yourself and what's going on with your mental, your physical, your energetic body. So you're kind of in that really self-orientated space. Your outward life or things from outside don't really come in, don't really affect or touch you really. It's all about you from the inside out, if that makes any sense. And then day 40 was 4.5 days ago for me, and well, 4/5, I can't think exactly, but this is a reference for me also for the future when this possibly might happen again to me, because I'm going to try reducing my lithium again in the future. So day 40 is where I felt like there was light at the end of the tunnel of darkness, and I was starting to walk towards that light, and there were possibilities, and things were feeling more optimistic and more positive, and I could see a bit of future again, rather than just always stuck in a negative present. So yeah, talking more about the darkness before the tunnel even comes. You're just stuck in the darkness. So that's it, just feeling like a whole cloak is laid all over you. It feels close, it feels intoxicating, it feels constricting, it feels like you're in a straitjacket, like you can't move, like there's like an external power or strength over you. It sounds a bit like Harry Potter, except instead of an invisible cloak over you where you can kind of go and see things around you, and no one can see you, you kind of feel like that cloak is dark and you can't see through it at all. It's just something's covering over you, making you feel dull, damp, heavy, negative, stuck, like your feet can't really move, that kind of thing. I think you get where I'm coming from. So then day 40, I woke up in the morning and I felt a bit different, and I started to go about my day feeling lighter, feeling more energetic. I guess the energy's been coming back even before day 40, but it's where I really had more of a sense of my internal energies were suddenly more vibrant and kind of more playful and more faster, in a kind of, there was just more physical energy. I think a lot of this was coming from all the exercise that I was doing. I could feel my muscles were getting a bit bigger in places, and I could feel kind of a bit more centered and a bit stronger and a bit more rooted. It was also, yeah, when I started feeling more grounded again, and that my bassin, my what's it called in English? my sacrum was pointing downwards more easily. I could sense that the ground I was more connected to, and Robin said to me at one point, "Are you actually running, Joanna? Can I hear you running along the landing upstairs to the bedroom?" And I was kind of running up the stairs, and I hadn't done that since before Christmas, 40 days previous. So, you know, that feeling of, oh, you know, I can do things more physically and it's coming naturally, you know. And so yeah, so now I feel like I'm walking towards the light at the end of the tunnel much faster, and that's speeding up, and the light at the end of the tunnel is getting much bigger and opening up, and I feel like this tunnel that I'm in is getting bigger. And there's more space in that blackness, even though there's lightness as well there, you know, and I'm going towards it, and I feel like I'm not there yet, but one day I can imagine that this blackness will kind of almost pixelate and will kind of disappear, and it will just fizzle out and maybe turn to grey, and then it will become see-through, and then will just completely open up and disappear behind me, and that will be gone, and then it will just be me standing here in this life living it the way I was when I was feeling on top form, feeling really good. And yesterday I was driving in the car on the way back from Saint-Giron, and hang on a minute, bear with me. It's there somewhere, hang on. Okay, so I've just remembered it. So I was imagining in my mind that I could do backflips, and I could do handstands, and I could do arm balances, and I could do some quite energetic, fast things in yoga. And I thought, you know, it's interesting that's coming as something in my mind that I can visually see myself doing, even though I'm not experiencing it physically in my body. And I feel like that's the first step. So if I can imagine it, I can do it in the future. Because I know that I have been able to do it, but I haven't physically had the energy or the physical space for it. I can't do backflips, by the way, but I can do everything else. Wish I could do backflips. Maybe one day. Maybe I'll do that in the future. Who knows? Yeah, so I think those thoughts will turn into a reality soon. And I have had physical things that have been stopping me, because I did too much swimming the other day. I did too much front crawl, which I hadn't done for many years, and I did it for kind of 15 minutes straight, and I felt great doing it, and I had more energy for that. But then 1 or 2 days later, I was like, oops, what have I done? And I made a huge knot behind my shoulder blade, and that's been feeling really not good for a week, and I'm starting to come out the other side of it now. So yeah. Hang on, bear with me again. So the more that the tunnel disappears and the more that I walk towards the light, the more I feel that I'm really interacting and being part of and experiencing the world around me and allowing it to come into me more thoroughly. And I think that every day that I take probiotics, or I have my vinegar before I eat, and I'm blending my food more, I'm having less fruit and sugar in my diet, and I'm doing everything I can on every single angle of my physical body to help my mental body and my energetic body to recover and to heal in this process, and get me ready for the next reduction, which I will only do when I feel absolutely ready and centered and steady and happy, and everything's just working as well as it can. and that I'm emotionally totally on top of everything with, you know, I can talk openly with Robin, with my doctors, with my osteopath, and let them in totally, so that they can really help me with the next difficult stage, which I imagine it will be difficult. It's not going to be, I'm not going to swim through it. And I have got already made friends a bit more with the more difficult parts of coming off medication, and you know, the more difficult things to do with bipolar. I was able to make friends with this time a bit more, and I think that each time I do it, I will be more and more friends with it, and have less fear relating to it, and less anxiousness relating to it. Yeah, because that's another thing. I think when I'm totally out the other end of the tunnel, there will be no anxiety. I can't say that very well. But that will be totally gone. Sometimes I still feel that, and I still feel that my breathing gets shorter. It's not always there, it's just there in much lesser degrees and much less often. Yeah, and I feel that really is just connected to me wobbling myself with coming off my medication. That was a withdrawal symptom. Because I don't think I was actually anxious about anything in my mental brain. It was just kind of a physical thing. Okay, moving on to the next one. Are you ready? Thank you, everyone, and see you soon. Bye.